Quick disclaimer, the illustration speed paint that you're going to see on the screen depicts a person with a plastic wrapping around their head, so if you are sensitive to this kind of illustration, viewer discretion is advised. Actually, the meaning of this plastic around someone's head came to me as an element for when we are existing in a world that is full of life all around us all the time, but somehow we feel like we are trapped inside of us and that we cannot interact properly with this outside world. And I feel like this is the same way that a lot of people are feeling lately. And this brain rot topic is not new anymore, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't affect us anymore. On the contrary, I think it is affecting us every single day more and more. And at some point I realized that I was much like the person in my illustration. There was this thin, very thin, and sometimes almost invisible layer between me and the world that was trapping me inside of myself, and that I could not interact properly with everyone and everything around me. Sometimes existing in today's world feels like this. It feels like I cannot properly focus on anything, and I can clearly see that things are out there, but this plastic layer around my head kind of makes me think that I cannot, that I'm not capable of getting to the good old days that I could focus on stuff and just live peacefully. At some point I realized that I was brain rotting myself away, and I never thought that I would be this person, because there was a part of me who was very judgmental about the kind of person that I thought that would brain rot themselves. And I thought that I would be always the person who uses their phone 24/7 and likes to consume short form content and all this kind of stuff. But I have never been this person. I have never liked short content, which is ironic because I do make short content for YouTube. Like, I take snippets from my videos and make short content out of it, but I don't watch short content really. I don't use Instagram and I don't use TikTok. So I thought that I was separated from that, and I realized that this is universal. It's not a type of person that gets brain rotted. At this point, I think we are all susceptible to this kind of thing. And I cannot stop thinking about that damn sentence. Maybe it was that damn phone. Like, maybe our parents were right. But at this point, our parents are also brain rotting themselves away. So whatever, I guess. And at some point, I realized that I was choosing to spend all my time just consuming content. And this word content is very complicated. I don't think it has any meaning anymore. Like, what even is content, right? But I was just opening YouTube without realizing. I was just doing something for 20-30 minutes, then I would open YouTube, scroll a little bit, try to curate, quote unquote, curate what I would watch later, and then I would close it and return to what I was doing, spend more 20-30 minutes and then do it again. Like, why was I even doing this? And most of the time I would spend on YouTube would be scrolling and saving videos for later, then watching 2-3 minutes of those videos and then getting back to whatever I was doing again. And this content consumption habit was getting worse and worse. And at some point, luckily, I realized that, and I forced myself to get back to some old habits that I always liked, and I always felt like made me tranquil with my life, made me at peace, which was playing games and reading books. I do like to read a lot, and I'm not the kind of guy who advertises reading for everyone. If it's a hobby that you like, you do it, and if it's not, if you don't like it, just don't do it. It's fine. You have other hobbies that you'll find interesting. And although playing games and reading are still passive activities, such as watching content, there's the difference there. Like, watching content is way more passive than reading and playing games, because at least in those two, there is this activity of interpretation and interaction with the thing that you're doing, and you have to be actively focused on what you're doing in order to fully experience that. And content is different in this regard because you don't have to be fully there. Most of us watch content while like eating and using our phones at the same time, and it's crazy, and most of that just fades away anyway. Like, if I were to ask you what the last videos that you watched were about and the topics that the content creators covered in their videos, you would probably not be able to fully recollect everything. And that's interesting, but at the same time concerning. And when I got back to those old habits that really brought me a lot of joy, I realized how much I was leaving on the table, life experience wise. And the more I got back to it, the more I realized that for people like me, artists, getting in touch with other people's creations in a way that is more interactive and more fulfilling, such as reading books and playing games and watching stuff, not using your phone at any point, just watch stuff, like just start watching an episode of something and just finish watching it. It's so fulfilling, and it brings you back to this old reality because it feels like a time capsule. Before, everything was so automatized and everything was so instant and everything was so connected, and there was this sense of protection over your time and over your attention span, and you felt like you were in control. Because the more it feels to me that the more we try to shove in a lot of content in every single free time that we have, the less power we have over our attention spans and the less control we have over what kind of things we choose to affect us. Because that's the thing, content's not bad. There's a lot of great content out there. I'm making content, for God's sake. But there's an equilibrium there. And getting in touch with other people's work and art can really flourish a lot of art in yourself. The more I got back to these things that I like, the more I realized that there's so much creativity going on out there. There's people making great stuff, and there's a lot of things to be admired in these people's work. And I was leaving all that on the table. Sometimes I would scratch my head thinking of references and inspirations, and things were not coming. But the more I just got back to read stuff and play games, I realized that inspiration comes when it comes, and it comes when you get references, so you have to get them. The thing about content is that rarely it has any form of consistent artistic value for you to get inspired, and this makes life bland and gray. Although it can be informative and it can be interesting and it can be fun and it can be a cool hobby to watch stuff and watch video essays, at the same time it doesn't bring you the kind of constant artistry that other medium do. And I missed that, and I didn't realize that I missed it until I got back to it. And I do encourage you to try it out and try it for yourself, like just for 48 hours, just stop consuming content and get back to finished art pieces. Like play a game, just pick up a game, don't check your phone, don't check messages, just play the game for an hour or two. A game that you really want to play or that you find interesting, or even a game that you feel nostalgic about. Or if you like reading, just pick a new book, a short book, a short novel, and just read it through. And most of the time you get that feeling of, why was I not doing that before? Like, why didn't I do this last week when I was bored out of my mind searching for content? The more you are deliberate about the kind of stuff that you choose to watch and play and read and do, the less it feels like the algorithm or social media has any control over you. And it feels like, I'm exaggerating, but your attention span is going to be replenished rather fast. At least it happened to me. And one thing that getting back to read a book, like after so long, after years not reading anything for pleasure, the one thing that it did to me, which I was not expecting, was making me look back at everything that I was doing daily that I was holding me back. Because it's not just about watching content and having a short attention span and not being able to focus and being bored out of your mind. It is something that involves your whole life and your whole capacity, your whole capability of staying frank with yourself and doing things that you like because you like doing them and not because you spend time with it. In a way, it makes you push through this thin plastic wrap around your head. Sometimes we see the world in a deformed way because we are holding ourselves back. We are spending too much time searching for stuff to do when there's so many interesting things around us. And I know a lot of people who would rather watch 1 hour and a half of a video about something instead of watching that thing. And again, there's nothing wrong in watching this content, but there's some equilibrium there. When we get to the point that watching a film becomes a challenge because we cannot fathom spend 2.5, 3 hours watching that, like just lock in and watch that and pay attention to it, it becomes concerning. Because if that's the kind of thing that you cannot do with a movie, which is for pleasure, what is it to say about the things that you need to do and that you don't want to do? Because that's the thing, as an artist, it is very easy for me to just illustrate. If I'm inspired by something, if I have a cool concept in my head, I just want to draw that, and that's great time spent. I'll spend the next 2, 3, 4, 5 hours just drawing that, and I'll feel great. Time will pass quickly. I love doing this. That's the reason I'm an artist, because I want to, and I love making art. But when it comes to do the boring stuff, the very boring stuff, when I have to transcribe this video, to subtitle it, that's boring. When I have to send emails, that's not the most interesting job in the world. I have to do it, and if I cannot fathom pay attention to a movie, how can I even fathom spend 1, 2, 3 hours sending emails and contacting people so I can get some freelance jobs, you know? It is something that involves our lives, and we think that it doesn't. And the more I talk about this in this way, it feels like I'm talking about a great conspiration against our attention spans, and that this is some forceful and evil plan from the big corporate media to make us dumber and therefore make us not push forward. And I don't think it goes that deep, and I don't think these big evil villains exist and they have this agenda, but I think that indirectly this is what they want, really. If you really look at the design of social media and things like short content media and AI is being pushed to us, even though most of us are kind of realizing that this is not as fun as they make it seem. Yeah, when you put it that way and you look at the design of things and how everything is being made and created to curate this kind of content for us, you realize that this is their end game, and us being dumber is great news for them. But I think that being an outlier is the only solution to anything related to attention span, getting control over your life. Again, I don't think there's other solutions. I don't think there's a mass technique that works for everyone, like a sole unique way to get everyone back to their lives and make them realize being more aware and being more present at every day, paying more attention to stuff and be more focused. I don't think there's a way to make everyone do that. But the moment you realize that you are losing control over your own life and that you cannot properly have fun with your hobbies anymore, then you can redirect yourself to things that you like and doing things that make you feel a lot of joy. Genuine joy, not just make time pass so you can get back to your job tomorrow morning and then get back home and watch more content again until you sleep. Actually enjoy stuff and feel inspired and feel fulfilled and feel stuff. As much as I would probably not stop anytime soon watching horror gameplays from time to time, now I'm finally get back to that point that I'm actively buying games again and I'm playing them, and I want to play those horror games and feel the dread myself, and then I can watch a gameplay later, and if the company of someone is what makes it fun, I can always like send a message to one of my friends and say, hey, wanna play a horror game or anything? And yeah, sometimes they will, and it will be fun, and it will be an experience that will change my whole week, and I will look back at the end of the week and say, hey, that was fun, and not just shove in that memory of watching that one horror game from that one YouTuber and never think about it again, you know? So ever since I got back to reading more and playing more games that I wanted to play, that were in my wishlist since ever, and the less I open YouTube just to watch more content, although I'm not stopping that entirely, I still think that content is a valid form of entertainment, mainly if it's like well written and made with purpose and the heart. But the more I get back to this controlled and deliberate form of spending my time and getting in contact with things that I do like, and getting entertained with more direction over things, the more I get inspired and the more fulfilled I feel, and the more it feels like my day gets packed in with experiences. It doesn't feel as bland anymore. Every day feels more unique because every day I'm getting in contact with these stories. I get to get this feeling of wonder every day. When I'm reading a story from a book that I'm interested in, I get this wonder feeling of the plot, what is going on around it. When I'm playing a game and I'm interested in it, I'm seeing where things are going, and these memories are formative to me. They are not as passive. And the difference of passivity from watching content and consuming art is not even that big. Those are not even hobbies that demand too much of my attention, but the state of things in my life and in my personal attention span were so critical that it feels like a huge leap, and the influence that it does on my life is also huge. and I feel like I'm way more in control of things, not just my personal life, but my artistic life as well. So I feel way more inspired to make more stuff and to talk about more stuff and to make more art. And it feels great. It feels great to finally be back to that feeling of control over my own creativity, like when I was a teenager. And not because I was a teenager, but because when I was a teenager, the world wasn't as directed to to short content as it was back then. It was way more directed to community-wise, at least in the internet. At least it felt like it for me. And at that moment, it felt like I was way more creative and I could tap into way more potential than I did right now. But I feel like I'm getting back to it, and it feels great. It feels great to be back. So this is just an encouragement for you to get back to your old habits, try to rediscover the wonders of the things that you'd like to do, and get in contact with art pieces and not just content, and find some equilibrium, you know, like spending half of the time consuming art and then half of the time consuming content. Even if that content is about the art that you consume, that's also fine. And I do consider games art too, so those are also included. You do you choose the things that you do that make you feel joyful, as long as it feels fulfilling, as long as it feels like you are in control of your life. It's not normal to feel like we are not in control and to expect the world to tell us which content we should consume and just let the algorithm tell you the things that are interesting. Like we have this power to explore and do things that we like and that make us feel good. So get out there, do things that you like, and hopefully you will feel the same positive effects that I am feeling right now. Maybe it's just because it's a novelty again. Maybe this feeling will fade in a little bit, but we'll see. Over the next weeks, I will report back. If this is kind of content that feels like is interesting for you, feel free to be part of the community. I want this YouTube channel to be a safe place for all us artists. So use the comments to share your experiences, use the community posts to share your art with us. I will be more than glad to see what you have been working on, be it illustrations, music, dance. Just share it with us, share your progress with us. And if you like this kind of content and think that this is a positive thing for the art community, just like and subscribe. And as a final word, I am working on a book on art and life. I've been working slowly but steadily on it. And the first chapter is free, so check it on this video's description. And I hope to see you here again next time. So yeah, see ya.